Avengers, assemble. Welcome back to Sanders Presents. I'm Greg, and if you're enjoying the content we're producing, then please consider following that link in the description below to become an Avenger and join our Patreon today. We have two tiers available, a $3 tier that gets you access to the Avengers Mansion within our Discord, where we share exclusive videos, leaked images, and other content that we can't share on cross social media or on our public YouTube channel for fear of it getting stricken down. The $5 tier gets you everything available at the $3 tier. In addition to that, you will be a producer, and as an Avengers Premium member, your name will be added to our Hall of Heroes as a founder, and we have Fairy Cake Ed, Fly Guy 215, and One Shot, One Kill. And I want to thank all of you so much for your support, and thank you to my Avenger Premium members as well. So, let's get right into it. This is an interesting question. It's come up in the comments. I've gotten some DMs about it, and it's interesting at the very least, and it's something that I kind of want to go down. I want to see what people have to say publicly about it. Is the game engine for Marvel's Avengers holding it back? I think a lot can be said for Marvel's Avengers. You know, it absolutely has promise. It has optimization issues across every console, though. And again, that's PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC. It has optimizations, and it has issues across the board, right? That's just objective. And is it a result of it being held back through a game engine, an older game engine running on older hardware and trying to keep that disparity, trying to keep an even ground or an even footing? Now, instinctively, I mean, and I don't believe like this is some kind of bias in terms of technology, but yeah, I mean, I absolutely do. I genuinely believe that Marvel's Avengers releasing on the PS4 and the Xbox One XYZ was a mistake. I genuinely feel that way. I mean, let's look at the timetable, right? Avengers came out for early access users like myself. We could play it on the 1st of September 2020. It came out too soon. It did need to be delayed. Imagine Marvel's Avengers, instead of coming out on the 1st of September 2020, right? It got delayed to May 2021. And it came out for early access on the 1st of May 2021. And that's when we played it for the first time. And then we had a faster rollout because obviously they would have had more time. They would have had, more done. And in addition to delaying it that amount of time, they scrapped the PS4 and the Xbox One release. Frankly, the Xbox One and PS4 release never should have been a part of it. It never should have been a part of it. Avengers, right from the start, it should have just been said, listen, it's coming out in May 2021. We're holding it back. We're not putting it out on the PS4, the Xbox One, and we're going to just work on we're going to work on the next gen, and we're going to work on PC, and we're just going to optimize and optimize and optimize, and we're going to get it all working, and that's it. And we're not going to try to run it across all of this. That to me is the smart decision, and would have looked good in marketing too. I mean, it would have. I feel like that would have given people hope, and I at least, just in my opinion, I felt that way. Now, at the same time, can they do that in the future? Is that a potential future? In terms of your questions and in terms of the comments that I've seen from all of you, technically, yeah. At any point, Crystal Dynamics could stand up and say, listen, we got to drop support on the PS4 and the Xbox One. We're sorry. But, I mean, you'll have all of your content, but we have to start moving forward. We have to drop support because it's just not working anymore. The technology is holding us back. It's limiting us from what we can do. We have to move forward. We have to really get pushing. To me, that's the smart decision. And it could also lead to a sort of, if you'll allow, a reborn era for the game, or Heroes Reborn, that kind of rebirth phase for a game, and it could give it new life, and it could really make a difference. I mean, imagine dropping support for the older generation consoles, being freed of the restrictions of the older consoles, and then seriously optimizing the Xbox Series X, the PS5, and the PC releases that we have, getting those mastered, and then hitting the ground running on producing and pushing strong redeemable content and true next-gen content for this game, because I think it deserves it. I mean, it's Marvel. Marvel's one of the biggest IPs in the world right now. It is the IP with the fire underneath it. It is the one with the passion underneath it. It is absolutely, Marvel has passion in their pants, right? And they're not afraid to show it. And that being the case, we need to see that kind of support where they go, listen, we have to push this. We have to push this. We're sorry that we have to leave an audience behind. We know it's tough to get a PlayStation 5 right now. We know it's tough to get an Xbox Series X right now. But we have to do what's best for the game. We have to do what's best for this massive, huge, significant, beloved next-gen property. In terms of the Avengers and in terms of the power of the IP, we have to do what's best for this, and we have to move forward. We are being restrained. We are being restricted. We are being held back by last generation consoles. It's exactly what happened with Cyberpunk. And it is a story we continue to hear, how previous generation consoles are holding back development, and is also splitting development way too thin because they're having to work across, does this work on the PS4 and the PS5 this way? How partial is it? Does it work on the Xbox One and the Xbox Series X? How partial is it? Does it work on the PC? It's too much. It's too much, especially on top of everything else development has to deal with in a AAA game. I mean, we're getting to a point where people are asking for 8K, super, ultra, mega high-definition graphics. There's going to be sacrifices. There just is. There's going to be sacrifices to get that kind of effect in a video game. One of those sacrifices is they have to move on faster. I don't care what it says about your bottom line. I don't even give a crap what it says to your investors. You have to leave the PS4 and the Xbox One behind. You have to. They're no longer the latest thing. They're no longer relevant. Technology moves forward too quickly. You have to be willing to leave that behind. It sucks for the audience, but hopefully the audience makes the transition, whether it's to the PS5, the Series X, or the PC. Hopefully they make the transition to next-gen, higher-powered hardware because they want the best experience for their games. Because they want the best for their games as well. And I can't help but wonder what Avengers could really achieve if it left the older content behind. And again, this is based off DMs. This is based off, conversations like that. I wanted honest perspective from everyone. If you're on the PS4, if you're on the Xbox One, if you're on an older PC, what are you looking to upgrade to? I mean, and is it a betrayal for a company to go where the technology is? At some point, they have to move forward so that the game can actually grow and actually be better. The game has to do that at some point if it wants to stay alive. The game has to move on. How long do they wait before they finally do that? I mean, I get it. The game's been out a year now. Man, maybe we're talking way too soon about abandoning the last generation, but I don't think we are. Every time the consoles come in stock, the Series X and the PlayStation 5, they sell out. The next-gen Xbox and the next-gen PlayStation, they sell out as soon as they come in stock. So, whenever, I mean, again, NVIDIA, the GeForce graphics cards, when they come in stock, they are selling out. People are upgrading. People are upgrading their gaming devices, whether it's the console or it's a PC. People are upgrading, and they're clearly upgrading rapidly because all of this is selling out. So the audience is growing. So the audience is very likely to transition. And even if you don't have the old audience, if you don't have all of the old audience transition, you still have a potential new audience that will now pay attention to you because they're like, oh, you actually care about the quality of this game because you're leaving the old technology behind. We'll pay attention now. Is it a trade-off? Absolutely. But if you're really passionate about the Avengers game and you're enjoying it on the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One, then odds are you're going to go with it. Whether you're building a better PC or you go from PlayStation to Xbox, or again, you go from PS4 to PS5, whatever you choose to do, but odds are you're going to follow it forward, especially if Crystal Dynamics comes out and says, listen, we're leaving it behind, but now we're going to be able to do this, and that. I think it's a fair argument, and I think that's what they should do, and I think they should do it sooner than later, because right now, the sales are already pretty balanced out. I mean, again, Marvel's Avengers wasn't a massive, crazy 20 million seller. It wasn't even a 10 million seller. you can get a pretty good audience. You have room to grow and to move forward, and you have a next gen audience that is going to be more willing to take a chance on Marvel's Avengers if they show you supporting next gen hardware in that way. Now, like I said, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm looking forward to this conversation and to seeing where it goes and how we can move forward in it, just based off responses and what future topics to cover. And as I said at the top of the video, to my Avengers, thank you so much for your support and for making this content possible. If you're interested in supporting the channel, you can follow the link down in the description below. You can become an Avenger today by joining our Patreon. Thank you for considering. To everyone, thank you for watching and being a part of this conversation. I really do appreciate it. Please consider liking this video, subscribing to this channel, and sharing this content across social media. It helps immensely with YouTube's analytics and algorithms, and it basically lets YouTube know, hey, we should recommend this channel more. In addition to that, you can follow a link in the description below, and you can order my debut novel on Amazon. It is 89 Instrument of Destruction. It is a science fiction novel available now. Physical and Kindle copies can be purchased immediately, so please do go check it out. And above all else, and most importantly, stay safe, take care of others, and have an absolutely wonderful day. Bye, everyone.